President Obama's jobs bill / stimulus package has died a quick death as a whole in the U.S. Senate, but now Senate Democrats are planning to cut it up and consider it piecemeal. Let's get a sense of where that is headed from Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Senator, thanks for being here.
Glad to be here, Brett.
Well, as you know, the president is continuing this bus tour. He went to North Carolina, today in Virginia, continues to hammer away at Republicans. Take a listen to what he said today.
Just last week, all the Republicans in the Senate got together and blocked this jobs bill. They refused to even debate it. Now keep in mind, one poll found that 63% of Americans support the ideas in this jobs bill. But 100% of Republicans in the Senate voted against it.
So is he making headway here?
Well, I sure hope not. It's hard not to snicker when I hear that. Actually, I tried to get a vote on his proposal, and my counterpart, Senator Reid, objected to it. So we were left with a motion to proceed to it, which was actually opposed on a bipartisan basis. There were 2 Democrats that voted against it as well. Had we gotten on it, more Democrats would have voted against it. So,
in other words, those Democrats didn't vote against it because they knew it would fail.
Yeah, well, look, there's bipartisan opposition to what the president's talking about. Bipartisan opposition, because it's not about creating jobs. The tax increases that he's talking about would raise taxes on over 300,000 business owners in the country when we have 9.1% unemployment. I mean, this is not about creating jobs. It's about creating an issue, Brett. And the best evidence of that, you may have already reported this, the Democratic National Committee is actually bracketing with paid television advertising the president's bus tours. This is just the campaign. Look, I'm not going to criticize him for campaigning, but it is noteworthy that the election's 13 months away. What are we going to do between now and then?
A couple of weeks ago, he said at a news conference in response to reporters, to ask Republicans what independent economists have scored their jobs plan. And what is the answer to that? He said, ask the Republicans what their jobs plan would do. I'd be interested in the answer. What is the jobs plan?
Well, let's try this for an answer. We tried his approach the first 2 years of his administration. He owned the Congress. He got everything he wanted. He borrowed, he spent, and we've lost 1.5 million jobs since then. Well, the American people said that wasn't working. They changed the Congress, and now he's trying to do another stimulus. And we don't think that's going to create jobs. That is not the way to create jobs. Well, I'll give you an example. On a broad bipartisan basis, we passed trade agreements last week.
And he touts those as well.
And he should. They've been sitting on his desk for 3 years. We've been trying to get him to send them up. They were actually negotiated by the previous administration. That's the kind of thing that can enjoy bipartisan support and create actual jobs. Look, we need to take the, let me be quite specific. Quit spending, quit borrowing, quit over-regulating, and quit threatening to raise taxes. No government action, no government spending, borrowing, or taxing is going to help us get out of this economic trough.
So you don't buy economists like Mark Zandi who say this particular plan, 1.9 million jobs, increasing 2%?
Yeah, I mean, he was optimistic that the first stimulus would work. Look, it's quite simple. The private sector creates jobs. The government is actually impeding the recovery by all the spending, the borrowing, the over-regulation, and the threatened taxation is making the private sector sit there and not expand. Look, the only way to create jobs is to get the private sector going again. And look, we've been for 3 years watching him engage in these government activities, borrowing, spending, regulating, threatening to raise taxes. And we know how business reacts to that. They clog up and they don't expand.
What do you make of Occupy Wall Street, those protests?
Look, in Washington, as you know, we have protests all the time on one thing or another. It's a free country. People can have their say. We've had a robust freedom of speech in this country for over 200 years, and it sounds to me like it continues.
You think it's organic? You think it's being supported?
I think people are free to express themselves in this country on any subject they choose to.
Here's what the president told ABC about it today. Quote, I understand the frustrations being expressed in those protests. In some ways, they're not that different from some of the protests that we saw coming from the Tea Party. Both on the left and the right, I think people feel separated from their government. They feel that their institutions aren't looking out for them. You agree?
I think they feel the president's not been successful in getting us out of this economic trough. And I think the American people are correct about that. All of the policies that he's enacted, and he controlled the Congress totally for 2 years, are not working.
Last thing quickly, Operation Fast and Furious, the investigation continues. Just passed a bill in the Senate that would essentially cut off funding for operations like that weren't monitored, any gun tracking. The president says that people who've screwed up will be held accountable. Do you believe him?
Well, I hope so. John Cornyn offered the amendment that just passed today. They're cutting off funding for any future such operation, and it's noteworthy that it passed without dissent. That meant a broad bipartisan support for the Cornyn amendment.
Senator, thank you very much for coming in.